We have Gigi in Florida, pronouns as she, her, who Gigi says she believes in God due to intuition. Is that the case? Welcome, Gigi.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Yeah, I believe in just like a deist God because of an intuition. So like I don't try to justify it. So I just take it to be like an irrational belief, just like your belief that the external world exists. You can't justify. You don't know that you're talking to me right now. So aren't we just both on like I'm not guilty of anything you aren't. So how would you argue against that?
Except that in order for the two of us to have a conversation, I necessarily need to be correct about there being an external world. And everything that I do every single day is interacting with this external world that I experience. I can't prove that I'm not in a matrix. I can't solve the problem of hard solipsism, but I know that if I try to pretend that I'm not experiencing the real world or the world I experience, if I try to go in opposition to it, that's bad for me. Like I can't just put my hand on the stove and not get burnt if it's on. I can't cross a busy intersection and not get hit by cars. I've been damaged by the real world. So while I don't have a problem for hard solipsism, the acceptance of an external world is pretty much a necessity. And not, you can't prove it 100% because you're stuck, but that doesn't mean that it's irrational. All of the evidence that I have points to an external world. What evidence is there beyond intuition that points to a God of any sort? And in this case, you're talking about a deistic God, which means you've intuited that which is non-intuitable, because a deistic God does not intervene in reality in any detectable way. So there's nothing that you could detect. So how is your intuition of a deistic God anything more than wishing there was a God?
Well, an intuition is just to accept a proposition without that you don't have a defeater for, without justification. And I don't see how I'm in any. First of all, I didn't say that it was irrational for you to believe in the external world. I'm just saying that you don't know it, and all that things.
No, I do know it.
About it.
No, here's the thing, Gigi. I do know it. Knowledge does not require certainty.
How can you? How knowledge would you have evidence for it that it doesn't beg the question?
I'm sorry. Knowledge does not require certainty. I have a belief that is rationally justified by actual evidence that I experience. I have a belief that is rationally justified by actual evidence that I experience. There's no solution to the problem of hard solipsism, but that doesn't mean that accepting that I live in a world interacting with you and others is on the same evidentiary footing as a deistic God. I'm not intuiting the external world. I am actively experiencing it and testing it.
Well, that's begging the question right there. But because I'm asking you how.
No, there's nothing that there's nothing that begs the question there. Because I'm not declaring that I am absolute. No, I'm not declaring that I am absolutely certain that the external world that I experience is in fact an external world and is in fact absolutely real. The fact that there's no path to absolute certainty, and the fact that we cannot dispute hard solipsism does not fucking mean that we're begging the question when we believe that the world we interact with is real.
I was going to address the certainty thing. You cut me off. Certainty is just a level of confidence that's irrelevant.
I didn't cut you off, Gigi. Gigi, now you're muted. I didn't cut you off. You interrupted before I was done. That's what actually happened. Let's be honest about this. Now, if you intuit a God, what is the justification? If all you need is intuition, can your intuition be wrong? And what's the likelihood that it's wrong on any given proposition?
Well, I don't think that we have access to how likely or unlikely a deist God is, because it's an unfalsifiable hypothesis. So
then why would you believe anything that's unfalsifiable?
You're not letting me talk. You keep interrupting me.
Yeah, I know that's part of it being on my show. When you make a statement and I have an objection or need clarification, I interrupt to get the objection or
I'm not,
clarification
I
there,
don't understand.
because otherwise you just get to
I
keep
don't
talking and your nonsense doesn't get rejected.
I don't understand how you could claim to know the external world exists. What kind of justification could you have? Please don't interrupt me. What kind of justification, sir, could you have that?
Now you're muted. I was sitting here quietly and patiently. Jim, by the way, hasn't said a word.
I don't really need to at this point.
And now you decided to get all snarky about don't interrupt me. Here's the thing. Accepting that there's an external world that you interact with is an axiom that is a matter of necessity, because otherwise you die. Otherwise, if you think that you're not interacting with reality, you're going to get hit by the bus. You're going to take point. Now, yes, everything that I'm saying comes in through my sense data, and I cannot demonstrate conclusively to you or me or anybody else that I'm not living in some sort of matrix. But I'm talking about the rules of the matrix that I experience, and you are asking me what evidence I have. And the evidence of that is experience and testable. It is, if reality isn't subject to experiential evidence, then what you're saying is, you know, that nothing can be known and nothing can be rationally justified. Now, if your position is that nothing can be known and nothing can be, we have a disagreement about what knowledge and rational justification is. But what it means is, yes, your position on a deistic God is no more or less rational than any position on anything, because you've thrown out rationality. Oh, you hung up.
No. Yeah.